morning and welcome to the Lewis County Public Library's Tuesday morning story time. I'm here joining you live in front of Castle Lewis. Didn't our library aide Laura do a wonderful job? I hope that you come in sometime this week and see the castle and some of the other wonderful projects we have going on here at the library. We are so glad to announce that it is finally summer reading time! Our summer reading theme this year is Imagine Your Story, Happily Ever Hohenwald. And so you'll be able to see several exciting fairy tale, lore, legend, mythology themed videos coming your way the months of June and July. Now, our story time is going to begin the same way every story time always does. So get your hands loosey-goosey. Get them all ready to sign along with me today, and we'll get started. Here we go. The more we get together, the more we get together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your friends are my friends, and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. The more we read together, the more we read together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your books are my books, and my books are your books. The more we read together, the happier we'll be. Good job, good job. Now, our first story today is about a little book monster. Now, you might be thinking at home, Miss Jamie, what's a book monster? Well, Nibbles is a book monster that eats books. I know. This book even comes with a caution sign. Caution, this book bites. Oh my goodness. This book is by Emma Yarlett. This is a story about a little monster called Nibbles. Nibbles likes to nibble soap. Nibbles likes to nibble socks. Nibbles chomps on rubber ducks, and Nibbles munches clocks. Nibbles loves to nibble toes, and Nibbles nibbles hooks. But Nibbles' favorite thing of all to nibble on is books. Oh, no, where's Nibbles? He's nibbled his way out of this book. He's gone. Can you see him? Where'd he go? There's his feet. Uh-oh. Nibbles has nibbled his way into someone else's story. Goldilocks and the Three Bears. First, Goldilocks tried the big bowl of porridge. Ugh, too salty. Then she tried the in-betweeny sized bowl of porridge. Too sweet. Then Goldilocks tried the teeny tiny bowl of porridge, and it was monster! When the Three Bears came home, they were shocked. Someone's eaten my porridge. Someone smashed my chair. Someone's broken everything. It wasn't me, says Goldilocks. It was a monster. And oh, look, there's another hole in the page. Poor Goldilocks. Naughty Nibbles has nibbled his way into another story. Quick, let's catch him. Little Red Riding Hood. There he is, peeking out. Deep in the dark, dark forest, Little Red found Grandma's cottage. Help! Stop that nibbler! He nibbled my granny's lunch basket and he nabbed my coat! Little Red knocked on the door and went inside. Grandma looked very strange.
I look strange. What about Little Red? She doesn't even look right at all. Oh, Little Red, what cute fluffy paws you have. What a rumbly grumbly tummy. And what nibbly little teeth.
All the better to nibble with. After a terrible hubbubaloo, Grandma was set free from the cupboard. Let me in, says Little Red. This story's meant to be about me. My hero. Thank you, Nibbles. Oh, Nibbles, you've turned me into a chicken. I feel so fluffy. And the big bad wolf was never big or bad ever again. Oh dear, Little Red is not happy. We've really got to catch Nibbles this time. He's making a real mess of things. Let's get him. Oh, which page has he eaten out of now? Jack and the Beanstalk. Jack hid just in time. The giant was home. Mr. Giant stomped through the giant door and sat in his giant chair, but something didn't feel quite right. He took a giant sniff and said,
Fee, fi, fo.
Boom! Something just bit my booty and they're running away with my goose. Mr. Giant tried to catch the intruder and the golden goose. Come back here! I'm out of here, says Jack. But they managed to escape.
Fee, fi, fo, fum. I'll get you back for this, you nibbly hooligan. When Jack climbs a giant beanstalk in his back garden, he finds a giant house, a giant golden goose, and a gigantic grumpy giant. Will Jack set the poor goose free, and will he make it home in time for dinner? Hooray! The golden goose is free at last, and it looks like he's taking Nibbles back to his own story. Yay! The golden goose has dropped Nibbles back into his book. Ouch, says Nibbles. Thank you, golden goose. Now quick, let's close the crate before Nibbles escapes again. Jump! Well done. Now, you really mustn't take your eyes off Nibbles. Not even for 1 second. Stop. Can you hear something? What's that noise? Nibble, chew, gnaw. Nibbles! Oh no! Not again! Oh, that nibbly nibbler Nibbles! He's gone out of the book again! Oh my goodness. Well, why don't you look around the screen and see if you can find where Nibbles is at? And if you find him, have your mommies and daddies help you leave a comment to say where in the castle you think Nibbles might be. While you're searching the screen to see if you can find where Nibbles is, we're gonna sing the Princess Pat. So every time we say Princess Pat, you're gonna put your arms out like this, and every time we say a rick-a-bamboo, you're gonna do like this. So, Princess Pat, a rick-a-bamboo. Ready? Here we go. The Princess Pat lived in a tree. She sailed across the 7 seas. She sailed across the channel too, and took with her a rick-a-bamboo, a rick-a-bamboo. Now what is that? It's something made by the Princess Pat. It's red and gold and purple too. That's why it's called a rick-a-bamboo. Now Captain Jack had a mighty fine crew. He sailed across the channel too. His ship did sink, and so will you, if you don't take a rick-a-bamboo, a rick-a-bamboo. Now what is that? It's something made by the Princess Pat. It's red and gold and purple too. That's why it's called a rick-a-bamboo. The Princess Pat saw Captain Jack. She reeled him in and brought him back. She saved his life and his crew too. She saved him with a rick-a-bamboo, a rick-a-bamboo. Now what is that? It's something made by the Princess Pat. It's red and gold and purple too. That's why it's called a rick-a-bamboo. It's red and gold and purple too. That's why it's called a rick-a-bamboo. Good job, good job. I hope you like that song. I like it too. Now our next story is one that you might be familiar with. This is the true story of the Three Little Pigs, told by A. Wolfe, as told to John Scaza, and illustrated by Lane Smith. Now, I don't know if you've heard the true story of the Three Little Pigs, but this one might be a little different than the one you know. Everybody knows the story of the Three Little Pigs, or at least they think they do, but I'll let you in on a secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody's ever heard my side of the story. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little critters like bunnies and sheep and pigs. It's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. Way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold and I ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now, this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. He had built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a house out of straw? So, of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into someone else's house, so I called, little pig, are you in? And no answer. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake, and that's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming. Well, I huffed, and I snuffed, and I achoo! Sneezed a great sneeze. And you know what? That whole straw house fell down right in the middle of a pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying in the straw, so I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger just lying there. Well, I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar, so I went to the next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He had built his house out of sticks. I rang the bell on the stick house, and nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? He yelled back, go away, wolf, you can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin. I just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed, and I snuffed, and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great achoo!
And you're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother's. When the dust cleared, there was the second pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's honor. Now, you know food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open. So I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a little better, and I didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake, so I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He had built his house of bricks. I knocked on the brick house. No answer. I called, "Mr. Pig, Mr. Pig, are you in?" And do you know what that rude little porker answered? "Get out of here, wolf. Don't bother me again." Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar, and he wouldn't give me even one little cup for my dear sweet old granny's birthday cake. What a pig! I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on. I huffed, I snuffed, and I sneezed once again. Then the third little pig yelled, "And your old granny can just sit on a pin." Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course, I was trying to break down this pig's door, and the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a great scene. The rest, as they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the two pigs I had for dinner, and they figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting. So they jazzed up the story with all of that, "Huff and a puff and blow your house down." And they made me the big bad wolf. That's it. The real story. I was framed. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar? The end. Well, that's about all we have time for today. We hope that you join us next week for another story time, and go ahead and download the Read Squared app and get logged in to log all your summer reading minutes, and program attendance, and you can log different missions that we have in the app as well. We will see you next time. It's time to sing Goodbye, Friends. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. It's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, my friends.